Neuroboxers. This is Josh and Jules from Neuroboxing here. About to take you through some at-home exercises you can do, of course, from your house with very minimal equipment and be able to do safely and comfortably at home. So for the exercises, I will be doing the standard exercise. Jules will be doing the modified. So any exercise that we do can be modified down to Jules's or up to mine. And let's get started. Forward, coming all the way forward, and coming back down into this. Jules is doing the modified variation, where both of her hands are on the bag to help to assist the weight. She's still keeping her heels dug into the ground, still keeping her chin up, and driving her hips back and driving her hips forward into it, but is using the bag to help with some of the stability. You're going to do roughly about 10 to 20 of those, and then move on to the next exercise. Second exercise, jumping jacks. I'll be doing the standard jumping jack. Jules will be doing the modified jumping jack. With the standard jumping jack, I'm bringing my feet together and I'm crossing my hands. You want your arms to go through a complete range of motion. None of this. All the way through. Jules is doing the modified jumping jack, where she is still moving her hands through the range of motion, but the feet don't leave the ground, but still comes out further than her normal stance or her normal range of motion would be. Again, do 10 to 20 of these and move on to the next exercise. The next exercise is going to be lunges, and you're going to be lunging forward. As you lunge forward, make sure that your knee doesn't come past your toe. You want that lunge to be onto your quad. Bringing it all the way back in, and then switching legs into the next one. Bringing it back and switching legs. Jules, of course, is doing the modified version to where she's using the bag to help stabilize her. If you cannot bring your knee all the way down to the ground, that's perfectly fine. Keep the rear knee and extend out, stretching that hip forward into it. Continue again, do 10 to 20 of those, depending on your fitness level, on each leg, and then move on to the next exercise. The next exercise on our list is basic push-ups. Coming down, keeping my hands shoulder width apart, making sure I am nice and flat, my knees off the ground. For the modified variation, Jules keeps her knees on the ground, but keeps her hips low, so that way the angle still works her upper body. Then coming down into the push-up, make sure your chest comes to the ground and coming all the way back up. It is still very important while you're doing these push-ups to bring your chest down and to move your upper body through the range of motion. There is a secondary variation of the push-up that can be done for those that don't want to come down to the ground, and that's the wall variation. Here, on the wall variation, we're still leaning nice and flat across from toe to head, and then bringing our body at that angle onto the wall. You're going to have to move your hands a little bit up and down to find that comforting spot for it. And again, 10 to 20 of these, depending on your fitness level, and then move on to the next exercise. For the next exercise, you're going into the traditional plank hold. Full plank, which means you're going to come into a push-up position. You're going to be nice and flat from your shoulders in a straight line all the way down to your heels while maintaining this position. There are two different variations you can do on this plank hold. The very first one Jules is doing, where this is a standard plank. The second variation, Jules brings her knees down to the ground, but notice she is still flat in her hips, going from her shoulders all the way down to her knees, just taking off a little bit of the weight from the knee to the toe, maintaining this one. The third variation is, instead of being flat, and this is for those that can't go down to the ground, comes onto the wall. Here, she's on the wall, her feet are still back at that angle, and is taking out as much weight from approximately from here down, but she's still getting some of that stabilization in there. For this one, you're going to want to hold anywhere between 30 seconds to 1 minute, depending on your fitness level. Keep a tight core, make sure to draw in, and by drawing in, take your belly button and bring it in towards your stomach. The next exercise on the list is more of a balance and a coordination exercise. They're called skaters. I will be doing the standard skaters. Jules will be doing the modified variation. And on this one, really want to focus on not going outside of your safe range of motion. You'll see what I mean here in a second. So with the skater, I'm coming out to my left, keeping my rear foot up, and then coming a little bit outside of my shoulder range. So back and forth, kind of like a skater. Jules is doing the same work, but instead of bringing one foot back, she's keeping both feet onto the ground, coming outside and dropping the foot down onto the ground, bringing the hand out for extra stability and balance. Again, Do about 10 to 20 on each side, depending on your level of fitness. And we'll move on to the next one. Do all of those exercises approximately 2 to 3 times each, which will give you a good, well-rounded workout you can do at the home with very minimal equipment. If you want a little bit more of a cardio burn in between exercises, go ahead and just simulate jump and rope. You can either do it both feet together, or as Jules is doing it, alternating feet back and forth. Do this for about 30 seconds in between each one of those exercises we showed you, if you want to add in a little bit extra cardio. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please stay tuned for more videos from us here at Neuroboxing, and have a fantastic day.